I'm gonna do one more wrap-up video of my garden today, which is Monday, October 18th, 2025. I took this week off, so I'm gonna tear this down and close everything out for the season, or most everything, hopefully this week. But this is the Cardinal Climber, and I started it from seed on my umbrella trellis, and it has just gone bonkers and prolifically bloomed in the last 2 weeks. It really took time before it got this full, but it's just magnificent. And I'm taking seed. The little seed heads are right in there close, and I'm just taking those out and saving them for next year. And that's something I've started new this year that I really haven't done before, is seed saving. This little area, I like how it turned out. I'm gonna have to replace that round disc on the planter stand that Dad gave me, but I really like how that looks. The climbing rose is in there, and I ordered copper tags for the plant names and labeled everything, so that will stay there. And you can even see the trellis has kind of tipped on its side because of the weight of this thing. There's the ajuga. It does really well in shade and dry shade even. I like how that looks, and I'll probably divide it and sort of sprinkle it around. Planter big hydrangea, which was beautiful all season. Nothing really new here. This is a plant stand, or a plant that'll have to come inside, an indoor little fern. So I'll have to bring that in. That's really heavy in that pot that it's in. And one of the big things I did at the end of the season was to make this little pea gravel path. And so it starts over on the far side of the garden, and then it just winds around like in a little sort of L/U shape, and that makes it easier for me to get back to the hydrangeas and take care of the plants in the back. So I really like that. Here's a calla lily. I want to put it right there again. I'm going to pull the calla lily bulbs out today. And then these peacock lily bulbs, I'm going to pull them out. Those things have been my surprise star in the garden this year. They've bloomed I think 3 times now. I love the shape, I love the color, so I'm going to pull those. And then I have blue markers, little flag markers back here. That's where I want to put them next year. I wanted to make this video so I remembered where to put them, because I think I'm going to pull those flags out. I don't know that they'll withstand any snow or anything that comes back here this winter. And then the red flags are where I want to put the calla lilies next year. So I will remember hopefully that by doing this video. Stepping back, there's another little wood disc that I put on Dad's planter that he gave me. I like that look. I just need to find something a little more durable. And then nothing super exciting going along facing this way, although those elephant ears got huge, and I'm gonna bring them in and actually plant them in a vase with water and rocks. And I've already brought one in, and it looks great. And then so next year it won't start from zero. It'll be, something sizable right away in the garden. So that's how I'm overwintering those. Down here I have an apricot foxglove, and I did not cut it. My tendency is to cut things for cut flowers and bring them in, but I heard that this reseeds itself in other parts of the garden, so I left it alone, and I'm hoping I will get more little plants of those next year. I love that plant. Then over in this corner, I moved the ostrich fern. It was in the front there of the fish, and it just got way too crispy, so I'm hoping in the shade back here it'll do better. Moved the little boxwood and then some yarrow just to give something in this little corner. I like this path, but it definitely needs plants to kind of soften the edges of it. And then back here, I've drastically cut back these hydrangeas. The stems were very long and spindly, and I just didn't really like how they held up this year. Wasn't really sure when to prune them. I did some research, and I think the panicles were okay to prune in the fall, from what I read. So I pruned them back because I just didn't like how they looked anyway. So if they don't do better next year, I may look at another option for like a hedge along this area. I did add in a hardy geranium back here, and I want to split it and have it kind of trail all the way back through this lower part of the border. This is the only geum plant that made it. I divided those as soon as I bought them last year, and I don't think I should have done that, but that is supposed to be like an apricot color, and that'll be an early spring bloomer, so we'll see how that does. Here's the hydrangea. It did not bloom. I think I cut it back last year when I wasn't supposed to. I don't know if I cut it back because I got kind of frustrated with it this summer. And I thought about taking it out, but I do like the color of the foliage, so I'm just gonna leave it there for a little bit. And then this little piece of grass I planted in the ground last year, and I like it there. It gives it some height, and so it's probably gonna get way too big, but I'll divide it when I need to. Moving along in this area, I really like how this turned out with the liatris, and then there's an iris back there. That looks like it could be divided. I don't know, I'm just gonna run out of time to do all this stuff, but I like how this little combo has come together when it's in bloom. Here's a phlox, and I divided it. I like the phlox, liatris, iris combination. There's a butterfly bush. It did okay. I'll probably try to fertilize it. We've got the penstemon, and I really like that red with the sort of chocolate mixed with green, bright green with the new growth. There's a peony in the back there. I need to prune back the leaves there. And then these zinnias, and they have done really well. And I like how if I stand at the right angle, they are in the foreground of the big trellis looking plant in the back, which is Morning Glory. So I want to make sure that I put these in here the same spot next year. I'm learning this is when we got a lot of rain last night or yesterday, but these are the seed heads, and I'll cut those off before I tear the plant out and dry those, and then I'll have hopefully the same zinnias for next year. And so the zinnias really did well in this little spot, which is right in front of the peonies. And I like that. The foliage does not look good right now, but it serves to kind of hide the foliage of the peony plant once it's done. Then over here, this has just been a joy every morning to see the morning glory. And I did not put a trellis in place before I threw these seeds down. So all I did, I can see that little fish that I anchored, just a piece of jute string. And I originally did a cross pattern, but I liked how it looked just coming up one side. So I cut that side of the cross down and I ended up with this. And so literally that has grown on just a jute string. It's strong, sturdy, beautiful. I look out the kitchen window and I can see that in the morning. And that has brought me a lot of joy. So I will do that next year. Here's my little cypress tree. That's my favorite tree. And I've noticed it gets little brown areas. I don't think that's of concern. I hope not, because I love this tree. But it may need just a little bit. Usually I'll just come in here, and when it's brown enough or crisp enough, it'll just kind of dry enough, they'll just kind of flake off. So that's how I've handled that. I've got another David Austin rose here, and again I used the copper tag and labeled all of the David Austins. Another peony, the Russian sage. I put in three of these back here from the front mailbox area. They've done really well this year. So I think they've taken root and they should do well next year too. Then coming around here, I sprinkled morning glory seeds all along here, and I did end up getting, I was thinking maybe like a ground cover, but it did spike in certain areas, so I think that looks really good. I like that. Maybe a little too much, but those colors and blooms are just, I really love that. The bird bath is back there, and it'll probably stay back there. So my goal was just to add some height to this area, and I think that was definitely achieved with the morning glories. And I may be a little bit more strategic in how I place the seeds and the jute next year, now that I know they can just grow up on one little strand of string. I've already cut back a lot of the peonies. They were getting mildewy, so those have been cut back, but I still have a few more to do. I think I need to move this yarrow. I think in my previous video I said that those were too tall for that spot. And I think maybe I did move them, but they grow back so fast, so I'll probably have to move these again, these new ones. And then here, this does not look like much of anything, but those were the spider plants I bought like on sale, and I read that they have a great chance of reseeding, so I just let them go. We'll see. They certainly don't look like much of anything right now. Here's a snapdragon, and I had literally just picked it up and plopped it there probably about this time last year, and it did come back. Those reseed apparently very well. This arbor was a wonderful addition this year. Tim put this together and put it in, and I've just loved it really all season. And then it has solar lights on it, so it comes on every night. The lights come on every night. It just looks amazing. Trying to back up. So I had originally tried to grow grape hyacinth seed on that, and they didn't take. I had put them in these little pots on both sides, and they just did not do anything. So I added some morning glories late in the season. They did definitely start to climb. They would have done better had I started them sooner, But now I'm just letting them dry out and again collecting seeds. There are the seed heads. And as they dry out, I'm plucking them off, putting them in a paper bag, and then I won't have to buy those next year either. And then over on this side, I added, this is a 5-leaf Akebia. I'm not sure how to say that, but it's a climber. It's a perennial climber. And, you know, I wanted something that was going to be there, that I wouldn't have to deal with every year. So that looks really pretty in the picture. We'll see how that does. But I'm kind of trying to already train it to come up this lattice. I did put in a dahlia here because the dahlias need staking, and the trellis was a nice little spot for it to kind of climb. That worked out pretty well. I just don't know if it got enough sun. So maybe I'll plant it on the front side of the arbor next year. And then I did the same thing over on this side with another dahlia. And then there's a David Austin climbing rose that has done really well. I've already had some super pretty blooms, and you can see there's the bud of a new one. So hopefully that will continue to climb all the way up this side of the trellis. And so I'll have the peonies on this side with a pink climbing rose on this side of the arbor. Not much else going on through here. I need to get or put something more of ground cover along these bare spots between the peonies. So that'll be my focus, probably in the spring, because I'm just gonna run out of time. I'm just noticing there's something new growing there. I really don't know what that is. Right in the middle there is a pincushion seed that I put in. I love that, so I've already started collecting some of those seeds, and I may just let that dry and see if it'll come back on its own, reseed itself. The climber that I put on Gloria's coat rack never did anything. It was called Candy Corn from Halters, and it just, I don't know, maybe I didn't water it enough. But I think the morning glories are starting to attack it too, so maybe I'll just do morning glories next year. So yeah, there's a dahlia. It did not do very well in that spot. The ajuga, I put some in here. I may kind of spread that around. I like how that looks, and maybe that'll be the ground cover through here. So, just gonna pan around and get one more look at it before I start literally digging in and digging up bulbs and storing them for the winter. It's starting to get pretty chilly here, so we need to get that done. And then I think I've decided I want to put shutters in. I never really worried about shutters back here, but this area just looks so plain and bare to me. I think if I add maybe some shutters and window boxes, that will add quite a bit of character back here, in addition to raising the plants on blocks and things of that sort next year. So I just keep learning and growing and trying new things. I need to get the little fish put away. I don't leave them out during the winter. This rosemary bush has gotten really nice, and the big tall lavender in the back, or taller lavender. So that's why I need to move these bulbs, because they're blocking the lavender and the shorter things. So that's a wrap. It's been a great learning season and a really good gardening season. I feel like this year I just need to make some alterations and put it to bed.